State Police, Northville Crime Lab in the biology unit.
And how long have you been employed by Michigan State Police in the Northville Crime Lab?
For 15 years.
And what kind of education do you have for your job?
I have a bachelor's in biochemistry from Eastern Michigan University. I also have training with the National Forensic Science Technology Center and the Michigan State Police. That was approximately 1 year of testing in forensic biology and DNA analysis.
Okay. So what kind of training, I guess, do you have to have for your role that you do, and do you do any continuously?
Yes, so I had approximately 1 year of training with, I previously mentioned, as well as continuous education, which includes at least 8 hours in DNA specific training, as well as up-to-date journal articles and current technology.
Okay. And do you have any certifications or any necessary licenses for this job?
No, we don't.
Okay. And have you testified as an expert before?
Yes, I have.
Okay. Where at?
Washtenaw County, Wayne County, St. Clair, Oakland County, Federal.
Okay. And approximate how many times have you testified as an expert?
About 40.
And what is it that you've testified as an expert in?
On DNA analysis.
Your Honor, I move to certify Erica Anderson as an expert in DNA analysis.
No objection.
Okay.
Thank you, Judge. I want to talk about this case specifically, and when I say this case, I'm referring to lab number MD24-691. Did you author reports as it relates to that case number?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And what record numbers did you author?
Record 4, 6, 8. Oh, and 5, sorry.
Okay. So 4, 5, 6, and 8.
Correct.
Okay. And, Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Handing you with marked People's proposed exhibits 22, 23, 24, and 25. If you look at these and tell me if you recognize what I've handed you.
These are the reports I authored.
Okay. And we'll go through these one by one. Is People's Exhibit 23, is this a fair and accurate copy of the report you authored as it relates to record number 5?
Yes, it is.
I move for the admission of People's 23.
No objection.
Would it be a minute as People's 23?
Okay, sorry, I missed 22. In proposed Exhibit 22, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report that you authored in record number 4?
Yes, it is.
Move for the admission of People's 22.
No objection.
Would it be a minute?
Thank you. And in proposed People's 24, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report you authored as it relates to record number 6?
Yes, it is.
Move for the admission of People's 24.
No objection.
Would it be a minute?
And 25, is this a fair and accurate depiction of the report you authored as it relates to record number 8?
Yes, it is.
I move to admit People's 25.
No objection.
It would be a minute.
Thank you. Now, may I publish, Judge?
Yes.
Thank you. Oh, you turned off sharing, sorry.
She want to share her screen. Oh, sorry.
Thank
I
you.
think she walked away.
Okay, so we're looking at People's 22 right now. Tell me, what is it that these reports just generally start with at the top?
The information that is submitted by the agency with the evidence, which is their agency number, as well as the investigating officer, and then we assign a laboratory number to the case. It also has the date received for that evidence and the date the report was completed.
And who comes up with the nature of offense? Do you list that? Does the police list that?
The agency,
Okay. And what about the victims and suspects? Who lists those?
they also list those on the paperwork when they submit the evidence.
Okay. So in record number 4, what did you do in record number 4?
I interpreted and recorded 2 items of evidence that were submitted.
What were those items of evidence?
A buccal swab from Jarvis Butts and an ID, swabs of an ID card.
And what is it that you did to them? What's the process that you did?
So I'll give you a general overview of the process. When we receive this evidence in our laboratory, it's usually in a small tube, it's cuttings or swabs from evidence. We then extract the DNA, we see how much is present, and then we make many millions of copies of that DNA. We can then get a picture of that DNA profile from the evidence or the individual, and we can compare those. So in this case, I received the buccal swab, and for a reference sample or a buccal swab or blood, known DNA from an individual, everyone has 1 or 2 what we call types at each of the locations within the DNA. So when I see 1 or 2 at one of these locations, I know that's only one person. If I'm seeing 3 or 4, 2 people in that sample. So for a reference sample, blood or a buccal swab from the inside of someone's cheek, there would only be 1 individual present because that's directly from that individual.
Okay. And what you do, your process doesn't change or alter the DNA in any way, does it?
No, everyone has their own unique DNA profile. It is specific only to that person unless they have an identical twin. Every cell in your body has the same DNA profile that is unique to that individual.
Okay. So in record number 4, you came up with some interpretations. What does that mean?
So when I look at the kind of the picture of that DNA profile, I'll interpret how many people are there and then make comparisons to any known samples and the evidence.
Okay. So in interpretation number 1, you obtained a profile from the Jarvis Butts buccal swab.
Yes, I did.
Okay, and that was sufficient for comparison purposes.
Correct.
What does it mean to be sufficient for comparison purposes?
So the DNA must be above a certain threshold for evidence or references. And in this case, that DNA profile was all above that threshold, and it can then be compared to evidence.
Okay. And the interpretation number 2, you obtained a DNA profile from ID card swabs, but that was insufficient for comparison purposes.
Correct. The amount of DNA there was just too low and did not make it above that threshold, so I couldn't do anything with it or compare it to anything.
Okay. So you can say there's DNA there, but you can't compare it to anything.
Correct.
Okay. And that was the entire substance of record number 4. Is that fair?
Correct.
Okay. In record number 5, what evidence did you analyze in record number 5?
I received earbuds that were submitted as a possible alternate known. Fabric mattress pad cover cuttings. Plastic mattress cover piece. That's it.
And these earbuds, alternate known. What does it mean? What does alternate known mean?
When there isn't a known sample from an individual, occasionally they can bring in, an agency could bring in an alternate known. Usually this would be a toothbrush or something that you knew belonged to them, a comb or something along those lines. And then we could use that as an alternate known for that individual as their known sample.
Okay, so as opposed to there's a straight buccal swab from them or a hair strand from them.
Generally, buccal swabs or blood samples are used as references for known samples.
And in this case, do you know what alternate known you received?
There's an alternate reference known possibly for the victim in the case.
Okay. Would an alternate known, could that also be like a blood card from like birth?
Yes, that there are blood spot cards taken at birth that can be obtained from hospitals to be used as known samples.
Okay, so that'd be a known sample.
Correct.
Okay. And your results in this case, in your interpretations, you stated there was a DNA profile obtained from the earbud swabs that was not sufficient for comparison purposes. Is that